Hello to all you beautiful people of the internet. Welcome to another character ranking video, and this time we're going to be looking at this volume right here, The Best Defense. So, like I said before, only rules apply, only characters that appear in this book. Now, some characters may not have been named in this one, they may have been named in the novel, but they still count because they're characters from the novel in the comic as well. So, let's get to it. Last on the list is Bob Stuckey. Bob doesn't do anything. He just sits there as a homeless man, and then the governor tells him to go and get some food. Next is Penny Blake. She is the zombified daughter of the governor. I would have been put higher if this was the novel that was adapted, but since the novel doesn't have a picture of her, she is very low on the list. Next is Billy and Ben. I know the twins aren't the last ones in this one. They are seen around and such. They are adopted by Andrea and Dale, as you well know. And yeah, you just see them play around and such. You don't see much of what's going on, but later on in the series, you'll definitely see some changes in them. Next is Sophia. She doesn't really do anything much. Again, she's just Carol's daughter. So while Carol's going crazy, she continues her romantic relationship with Carl. Next is Billy Green. He just walks around the perimeter fence to try and help take out some of the walkers, but other than that, doesn't really do anything. Next is Bruce Cooper. He is just the big bodyguard henchman of the governor. Helps hold down Rick as he gets his arm cut off. Other than that, doesn't really do much. Next is Harold Abernethy. He's mainly just an arena fighter. Nothing much happens. Next is Eugene Cooney. Yes, there's two Eugenes in the Walking Dead franchise. The first Eugene is Eugene Cooney. I put him higher up on the list at the moment because while we see that he does lose some of his teeth, but that will contribute to a much brutaler version later on in the story. Next is Otis. Otis doesn't really do anything. He's much more bitter now, and in the earlier story, he tells Dale to f himself. He's very grumpy. Next is Patricia. She doesn't really do anything. She does help get Tyrese back into the prison, which spares him, just lets him live longer, basically. Next is Maggie Green. She doesn't do much. She helps Glenn find the prison riot armor, which helps Rick in the near future. So I guess that's how she got higher on the list. Next is Cesar Martinez. He helps Rick and the group get into Woodbury after taking out the zombies that were approaching them, and he leads them to the governor. That's pretty much all he does. Next is Alice Warren. She only helps sedate Rick before he hurts himself, and yeah, that's it. She's just the assistant of Dr. Stevens. Next is Axel. Axel doesn't really do much in this book. He helps watch the fence with Tyrese, and he and Tyrese actually won a little bit of a friendship, so I do like that. And he does share his love of movies with Maggie. Next is Gabriel. Not the Gabriel you're thinking about, it's a different Gabriel. We'll call him Fat Gabe. He doesn't do much. He does capture Rick and the others, Rick Michonne and Glenn, and then he helps the governor do very sadistic activities, but also brings the heads of a news crew that they killed. So yeah, that's Gabe for you. That's Fat Gabe. Next is Herschel. Herschel doesn't do much. He does help around the prison set. She does help them work the generator. That's pretty much all this character does. Next is Carl Grimes. Carl, in the beginning he complains a lot. I feel like that's just like there's no reason to complain. If you can't go, you can't go. He understands that very well, and then afterwards, he sticks around with Sophia and his mother. And he can sense that his mother is very stressed. And I thought that was quite cute. Next is Dr. Stevens. Dr. Stevens helps Rick recover after the governor cut off his hand. He very strongly dislikes the governor. You can clearly see he's not even afraid to put up an attitude towards the governor, which I'm really proud of him for. I'm really glad that he shows that he's not pulling up with all the bullshit he does. Sorry, I short-circuited there for a moment. Next is Dale. Dale, he does help with the generator. He along with Andrea adopts the twins, and he just mostly worries about when Rick and the others are coming back. That's all he does in the story. Next is Carol. Carol, she's the protagonist of the prison story. She doesn't. She helps around with Laurie and her pregnancy, and she does come off a little bit crazy and suggesting that Laurie and Rick get married as polyamorous relationship. And then Laurie blows her off, saying no, you can't just do that to be happy. And then she makes a gesture to Laurie, but it's not the gesture Laurie thought, as she storms away. And Carol feels like she's being left out again. Next is Andrea. Andrea has a little bit more role in this story. Again, she along with Dale adopts the twins since Alan's death, and she does take charge in defending the prison. She is on the tower with Dale. She takes out some walkers while they pile up on the fence, and she does take charge in helping Tyrese get back to the prison in one piece. So I do commend her for that. Next is Laurie. Laurie, she is like the protagonist. Well, she's kind of the protagonist in the prison storyline. She does take charge in trying to make sure Carl is fed and such, making sure Carol is okay while Carol makes sure she's okay. She is very put off with Carol suggesting that Laurie and Rick get married together. She misinterprets Carol's hand gesture, when she puts her hands on her knee. And she worries so much about Rick, and that even Carl can sense that. Next is Michonne. Michonne decides to tag along with Rick and Glenn on their search for the helicopter. As they drive through, they meet many dangers and such. They eventually arrive at Woodbury, and they are saved by Woodbury. Unfortunately, they land in some very hostile territory, and Michonne is subjected to horrific punishment, as the governor would put it. And that's all that happens. I can't speak any more about it, or else I'll get demonetized, as if I'm not already. Next is Glenn. Glenn, he goes along with Rick in finding the helicopter crew. He does witness as he and Rick arrives at Woodbury, he witnesses Rick's hand getting cut off along with Michonne, and he's just subjected to psychological torture. That's pretty much all that happens with Glenn, as he is very broken down. Next is Tyrese. Tyrese, he helps take lead in the prison. Well, he becomes sort of like the big round leader of the prison. He's not the protagonist, as I said. Laurie's the protagonist of that story, but he does go out one day, and then comes back finding that he can't find them except for their car. So he knows that they're definitely alive still. Next is Rick Grimes. Rick Grimes goes out on an adventure with Glenn and Michonne to find the helicopter crew. He finds out that they were rescued by more people, so he goes up, he follows the tracks, and eventually comes across Woodbury. When he meets the governor, he notices something strange as he sees that there are walkers in the arena pit. And then when he asks what they're feeding him, the governor reveals that they're feeding them strangers. Because when Rick tries to attack, he gets his hand cut off and is knocked out for like most of the book. He does come to, and he accidentally gives away the that he is from a prison. And last but not least, by default, it is the governor. The governor is the central antagonist for like the next few volumes. He is very sadistic. He cuts off Rick's hand. He does something terrible to Michonne. He psychologically tortures Glenn. He basically tortures people for his own pleasure. And more crazy is he keeps his zombified daughter chained up in his apartment, or feeding her strangers, and has a glass tank of his victims. He does eventually get the information that he wants, that the group are from a prison, and he thinks that he's one step ahead. So those are the character rankings for the best defense of The Walking Dead. Next will be This Sorrowful Life. So if you like what you see, please have a like and subscribe. I hope you all enjoy watching these videos. If you have any videos you want me to do that is Walking Dead related, let me know, put in the comments down below, and have a good day.